This is Hot Takes with Nick and Justin. We got special guest Dr. Propers here.
Hello.
I think we should just get... Well, first, you're a Baltimore fan.
I am a diehard Baltimore fan.
So, some big things have been going on there. Let's start off with Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
The king.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, man. I'm excited, obviously. I'm excited to have someone of Derrick's caliber, toting the rock for the Ravens. I'm really excited for it. It's bittersweet a little bit because we had some good guys that were up-and-comers and through injuries really kind of left us with a hole there at the running back position. So there had been rumors for a while about Derrick Henry going to the Ravens, and of course I'd been following it. He is notorious for being a Raven killer to some degree. I was there at the playoff game in, I think it was 2019, when he absolutely just smoked us. We were a top seed. I was there at the game, and the Titans they sucked the air out of that stadium in about 5 minutes. But he's an incredible back. Obviously, the concern there is that he's aging. It's kind of funny to say that he's aging because he's in his 30s, but he's aging, right? But he doesn't look like he's slowing down too much. And if we can just get what he did last year, that would be productive for us. So I'm excited about it. I think he brings a lot to the team, and I know that the teammates already respect him. I know Lamar respects him.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good move for them.
Yeah. What I've been saying is, his age is up there, but now is the time for the Ravens to win, in my opinion. I don't think there's really any other better time. So I don't think the age really matters that much. Obviously, if it's not this year or next year, it can get a little worrying. But if the Ravens are going to win, it's going to be now.
Yeah, I agree. I think their window is now. I think we saw that last year with Lamar playing at the level that he played. This is our time, really. We came up short against Kansas City. Really, that was our game to win. They did what we didn't do. We didn't run the ball, which killed us. I think we were
8 times.
Yeah, 8 times.
Like 6 of them was like Lamar.
Yeah, how do you run the ball 8 times in an NFL playoff game? I just don't understand. So that was a big swing and miss for Baltimore. And it was still a close game, a lot closer than people thought it was. But I was definitely upset about it. But this is our window, like you said. I think we got to do it now. My concern right now for the Ravens is they have to rebuild their offensive line. We have a lot of departures in the offseason. A lot of guys left. I'm not saying that we can't replace them, but we don't have the cap space that other teams do. So we got to get creative. And that's the one thing that our GM is really good at. Eric DaCosta, we call him EDC. He's really great in terms of being creative. So I'm excited about the prospects of that. And we always draft pretty well. Yeah. So I have the utmost confidence in the organization. My question is, can we bring that level of talent again, that level of performance like we did last year? I need some receivers to step up, right?
Yeah.
I think we all know Rashad Bateman has got to step up if he's going to be the go-to. And, of course, we like Zay Flowers. The guy's, he's a stud.
And Hollywood.
He's not there anymore.
No, remember?
Oh, yeah, sorry. He
Matter of fact, you know where he just went?
KC.
He went to
KC.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Great move, by the way.
Oh, that was oof.
But I'm confident in the Ravens. I believe in their draft because they always draft well. They'll probably find a guard or two in the draft. But with my main concern is just the weapons. Not like I like Zay, I like Henry, I like Mark Andrews. It's just it's the guy. It's likely I like. It's just the 2 to 3 wide receiver that I'm concerned about because is Bateman going to stay healthy? Is whoever
Nelson Aguilar. I mean, they just re-signed Nelson Aguilar.
He's a good
I got to tell you,
he
was very productive for us this past year.
Good
To be honest,
guy. It's just they need a bona fide one like guy like him. I think Zay can be a bona fide one. I don't think it's now. I think
It's now,
He's
yeah.
more of a. I think he more plays better in the slot. I would feel
I agree. I think when I think of a number one, I think of a guy like Cincinnati. Jamar Chase.
Like
Like
an undisputable
6'1".
one.
you got to be at least 6 foot.
Yeah.
Or you're
1, 6'2". You got to be tall enough that you can jump up and get balls. And look, Zay is athletic, but it would be nice to have that dominant
Yeah.
receiver, especially in the red zone, that you just know you can go to.
Yeah.
But also with the Ravens, it's like it's tough for me to trust them all the way. It's just always will with the team they have, because I just don't fully buy into the makeup of like them winning. It's just it's tough to see a team beating Mahomes.
Right, I agree. It
And,
is
like,
tough.
They were in that game last year too. Like a couple months ago. If Zay doesn't fumble that ball in the end zone, that killed the whole game.
It really did.
Yeah.
And then Lamar throwing a pick and triple cover.
When I was watching
Yeah.
it too, personally, I didn't think I thought he was in. And then when I saw replay, I'm like,
that's what you get for celebrating. You know,
Yeah.
taunting a guy.
Yeah, I agree. That was truly a rookie move
Yeah, I was
in
about to
terms
say
of
that,
just
yeah.
a young guy that really wanted to make his mark, and he's been, talked up, and he's done well all year. So he was trying to take it over, which I appreciate.
He was great in that game too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he
Caught a touchdown.
was good.
he was like the only receiver that game.
Exactly.
Yeah, Odell did nothing.
So
Right.
I felt Odell was a little it felt like Odell wasn't.
I think Odell brought
He brought
like
experience.
yeah, all right. He brought the intangibles of experience, leadership. He everyone that plays with him says he's a good teammate.
yeah.
He was a good teammate. People liked him. He was good with Baltimore. He was good with the media. Can't really say anything bad about him.
Yeah.
And like the temper tantrums and the bad boy reputation that he has,
Yeah,
I think it's behind him.
Yeah.
I think he's a father now.
Yeah.
He concentrates on that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 2 months or
Yeah.
so, because with the draft coming up and still free agency hanging out, there's still a lot of good guys out there too.
Yep.
And I hate to bring this up, but the stud receiver that plays on the
He's
the
not
Bills.
going anywhere. They can't get rid of him.
I agree. I think it would be a bad move if they did.
They can't get rid of him because of the contract. Every person thinks that they can get rid of him.
But it does sound like he's a little disgruntled.
Yeah.
Guy puts out a heart on Twitter, and everybody thinks he's gonna leave. All right, let's
Yeah.
back it up real quick. First off,
That's funny.
his guaranteed money is too much for him to get rid of.
Right.
He said he still has a couple years left on his deal, and also, who would the Bills replace him with? That's my always thing.
Right.
They don't have a bona fide outside receiver, really on the team except for Diggs. Like
Right.
Shakir, I like him a lot. They just got Curtis Samuel. I love Kincaid, James Cook. They don't have the guy. They don't have like a T Higgins type guy. That
Yeah.
can go, like if you could,
He's available.
Yeah.
He's
Apparently.
Someone did Photoshop him and build.
He is available apparently.
Yeah.
Which
That wouldn't be a bad pickup for the Ravens.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It really would be a great one.
Would they trade him to him though? No.
I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Queen went to Pittsburgh. That's something.
Yeah. Hey, listen. How about Pittsburgh? I mean,
Yeah, they made a lot of moves.
isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
I found I was shocked. I got to be honest. I was shocked when they ended up pulling the Justin Fields trade.
I was shocked too.
I don't think anybody was expecting that.
I
at all.
really thought okay, they're gonna roll with Russ.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
like a-
See if they can rejuvenate his career.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we just traded for Justin Fields,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and then have Kenny Pickett as that second guy, but then they trade him to the Eagles.
Right.
It
And what is he gonna do with the Eagles? I mean,
He's gonna sit there and learn, and then when he hits free agency, has his chance. It'd be like a Mitchell Trubisky type thing with him. I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange because that whole Eagles Steelers thing is
I still think the
confusing.
Steelers are the same team. Anyway, I don't think they got any better.
Yeah, I don't. Think
Yeah,
it's gonna really
I mean,
change.
I don't know. I think their defense is pretty decent, to be
I think
honest.
the
I
defense
think,
can be a lot better with a linebacker like Quinn.
I mean, I think Patrick Queen is going to be helpful to them. I mean, I liked PQ on our team for sure. I mean, he's obviously not Roquan Smith, but
I don't think no one's
I really enjoyed having him play aside Roquan. I thought that was a real good, strong linebacking core. But we got young guys ready to step up for that.
Yeah.
They can figure that out. But Steelers are going to be interesting. I think they, depending on the weapons that they try to get, if they can generate an offense, their defense is good.
Absolutely. It's just with Arthur Smith there, they're gonna run the ball a lot, but I don't think Russ is anything like, cause you can't tell me a guy that gets benched for Jarrett Stidham is just gonna magically have a career year like Russ beat him, cause same thing happened with Derek Carr. He got sat for Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Was average.
Yeah.
I
I don't see it. I don't see it either. But I'm not a Russell Wilson hater, so I would like to see him do well. That's weird saying that though, because I'm definitely not a Steelers fan,
Yeah,
right?
no.
I can't root for them, regardless. I mean, what's funny about the Steelers, in my opinion, and I've been to a lot of Steelers-Ravens games, is that they are often very much the same team. They commit to the run. They have good defenses. The quarterback is usually, decent to win them games, but they're a hard-nosed, tough team. It's always fun to play each other.
Justin, have you been to the bank, M&T Bank Stadium? Have you been there?
Which one?
The Ravens?
No.
No, I have been there twice.
And what'd you think?
So I went there 2 years ago when the Bills went to Baltimore and they came back and won in the rainstorm.
Yep.
There was a fan behind us saying no one can stop them. The one thing I could not stand was their third down, like when the offense or the defense it's third and long.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It's third down. Yeah, I know exactly how that goes.
But it was fun.
But
it was fun,
it's a nice stadium. I mean, really, nice quality stadium. Food's good. Location's not bad. You can get in and out relatively easily. You have to like purple, as all the seats are purple.
Yeah.
But it's that place can rock though.
Yeah.
That place can get really loud.
Yeah.
That place can get really loud.
It was I felt like it was shaking when they were doing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Because I went to the Commanders last year against the Bills. Completely different. They both. It looks like one stadium. Garbage.
So
great.
So a little story. I actually worked in both stadiums. I've worked in both of those stadiums. I worked at what was Redskins at the time.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I worked. Hey, look, I'm just telling you, that's what it was. That's what it was. Now it's the Commanders.
Yeah.
But it was the Redskins, right? And that's what I grew up. I'll tell you a little secret. I grew up a Redskins fan, only because I was young, but I was a Baltimore Colts fan, and the Colts left. Notoriously in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So became a Redskins fan because that's all we had in terms of broadcasting at that. And it was a good time to be a Skins fan, if you will, because they had Doug Williams. It was Mark Rippon era. It was the posse. That was the receiving core. The Hogs. The offensive line. Right. That was a huge deal back then. And so I followed them because we didn't have a team. We didn't have a team in Baltimore until I was in college. So I didn't become a Ravens fan until we got a team back. But I will, to your point, the stadium is a lot to be desired.
It's a wasteland.
So they really, and then they're going to build another one. They're going to end up building another one. But and even working there, it was way more fun working at M&T Bank Stadium versus working at what is it even
FedEx.
called, FedEx Field.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I've seen some good concerts there, but working there was not.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as cool as working at M&T.
Also, going to the bank and watching a close game was so fun. I mean, the fourth down plays. It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of them. A lot of them there.
Yeah.
A lot of games. Really excited to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Really tough to watch them play the Steelers there. I've seen some really good games and some really terrible games there. But it's a fun atmosphere for sure.
Speaking of the Commanders, though, they've had a crazy offseason. I was not expecting that either. There's a lot of every running back though. I feel like has just been off the board so far. Besides Christian McCaffrey, but I was not expecting.
So why would he go anywhere?
That's what I mean. Every good running back has changed teams besides him.
Not James Cook. Let's get that straight.
James Cook.
We're talking about good
Yeah.
good running backs.
Yeah.
1,500 all-purpose yards. What are we talking about? Pro Bowl.
James Cook is on the same level.
I
as-
appreciate
I'm saying
your passion.
I know that. But he was top 5 in total yards. Let's get that straight.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He's passionate. I give you that for sure. I get it.
All-pro.
Yeah, you're right. I was surprised about the Commanders as well. They need to make some moves though. They got money now behind a new ownership.
Yeah.
They need to make some moves.
I was surprised they traded Sam Howell, kind of. I was a little surprised they did
I
that.
was
I was too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty scrappy. I like watching him play.
Yeah, and
They're
then
comparing his first 18 starts to Josh Allen, so I don't know what that means. But everybody's doing that now.
and then he goes to Seattle, which I was definitely
Which
not.
is a great spot, though, I feel like.
Yeah, that DK needs the help. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gino
for
needs
sure.
Some competition.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who's back? Is it still Drew Lock?
No, Drew Lock left. He went to the. I think he went to. Did he go to the Giants? He went to the Giants.
Yeah,
Gino.
something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that. But
I mean, I have been following a lot of the transactions, but I just
yeah,
haven't. I don't remember everyone, and I've
Well,
obviously paid it more attention
and there's
to
also
Baltimore.
so much going on this season or off season. It's just
Yeah.
feels like everybody's
Especially,
getting.
especially my team, gone the whole secondary.
Mm.
Kind of everybody.
Yeah, and Stefan's gonna leave
No,
soon.
he's
So
not. He can't leave.
I-
They can't get rid of him, actually.
So I'm curious what your thoughts are on some of these moves that the Eagles have made. Knowing that everyone around here obviously are strong Eagles fans.
They stink.
But I'm just curious. They made some really interesting moves themselves in the off season.
yeah,
I'm curious to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think, and I'm actually glad that it worked out this way personally,
Yeah.
because we were in on the Saquon Barkley
Yeah.
discussions, but I wanted Derrick Henry
I
over
think Derrick
Saquon
Henry
Barkley.
fits your guys' team a lot more.
But
I
ground
think
pound.
Saquon fits the Eagles more, and I think Derrick Henry fits the Ravens more.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. It's just I feel like Derrick Henry and Lamar being in the backfield is just a better combination than Lamar and Saquon. But
Also, Derrick Henry, I think at this point, is a better version of what Gus Edwards is right now.
hmm
So Gus Edwards had a great year last year.
Right.
It's just I think you get more from Derrick because Gus is more of a goal line
yeah,
guy. I forget how many touchdowns. 14, I think. He had.
Yeah.
yeah,
But Saquon. I feel like Saquon fits their offense more, just because of the way the offensive line is too athletic.
yeah,
Offensive line with the Ravens more ground type style. But
Yeah.
Eagles
Yeah.
they want to make splash plays.
Yeah.
Do you? My only concern is probably what most people's concern is durability. Is Saquon going to be healthy and injury free? That's the concern. That's
Yeah.
the knock
I
with
believe
him, right?
I believe he will.
I think he'll be fine.
Get away from that turf in MetLife.
Yeah,
Playing with an actual offensive line.
and he's probably not gonna get as many carries as he did, even though he's probably gonna still put up the same amount of yards.
Okay.
Just because of I think the Eagles their team just fits Saquon perfectly.
Yeah.
So
They certainly have weapons.
yeah, because you're gonna get a lot of carries as a running back. You're eventually just gonna you're just gonna get injured.
Yeah.
So, and especially if it's even history of injuries, it makes it even worse.
hmm
But yeah, some of the Eagles made it. Also, they made getting D lineman Bryce Hall. I like their all season right now.
Yeah,
Except for the CJ GJ
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
Love that.
Not to go back to my team, but
yeah,
our biggest move in the offseason was not signing Derrick Henry, but was re-signing Justin Madubuike,
Oh, absolutely.
our defensive lineman, who draws some really strong comparisons
Yeah.
to some really good players, and he's really come into his own. Obviously, we didn't want him to go to free agency. They figured it out. They came out with a good plan. We were able to re-sign him. I think that's huge for us. We
Yeah.
needed that. It'll be interesting to see, especially now with the GOAT, Aaron Donald, retiring.
Yeah.
Who's going to step up and be that top defensive, lineman? Ed Oliver, right? But seriously, I mean, it's open, right?
There's a lot of good defensive tackles, like great defensive tackles
right.
out there. But I'm almost excited, like also they did re-sign Matabuke, but I'm excited for Travis Jones, what he could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like that whole D-line was great, but I feel like the young guy, like him, maybe David Abaji,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
They got a lot of good young edge rushers because they always in D tackle they always draft well D-line early on.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Owe play and again the other guy from Michigan, David. I can't pronounce his last name, but
you should feel good as a Ravens fan.
Yeah, I do feel good. I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm used to the heartbreak.
Yeah.
But that said, for such a young franchise, we have 2 Super Bowl championships. I would love to get a third. It would be the icing on the cake.
Don't you a Panthers fan, Justin? Or no more? You still a Panthers fan?
We've already talked about this many times.
What?
I liked that. Well,
Bryce
Dr. Perber doesn't yet know. So when I kind of not really like the Redskins thing with you, but when I was younger,
jeez Louise, man. Come on.
I just love the color blue, so I kind of leaned towards the Dodgers and the Panthers. Then as I grew up, it just really wasn't actually my favorite team. I just wanted to be a Philly fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah. Well, look, it's funny that you say that because I picked my soccer team based on color of their uniform.
Yeah, I just really like the color blue and the Carolina color, so I just picked them.
My son was a big soccer fan, obviously, and he, got into the English Premier League, and I was not a soccer fan until he was really playing, and so I picked a Premier League team to become a fan of. In this case, it was Chelsea, just because I really enjoy. I do like the Blues, and I thought it was cool. And of course, they were pretty good too. And I picked that team. I always pick a team that was on the up and coming, and they do well, which is really nice. But I totally understand your thought. And look, I think you should be a Philly fan. I think if you're from around here and this is what you grew up with, my personal opinion is there's nothing wrong with being a hometown fan. Like you should. I think it's great. There's always connections to other teams. That's you have connections, and that's why you like Buffalo. And
also hate the Eagles. Cannot stand them. Also, I used to be a Dolphins fan. For some odd reason, I was, but also because I felt I also did like just a part of them, but hate them now. Can't stand them. Hate the fans. Hate everything about them.
That's funny.
Go Bills.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Also was a Patriots fan. No one knows that.
Yeah, when I was younger and I didn't really know much about sports, I kind of just I had no knowledge of sports. I was like, my favorite color is blue, so I'm just going to choose the teams that have blue in them. And then I kind of just leaned towards those teams.
Yep.
And I feel like when you get older, you finally realize
once I got older, I was like, I'm not really a fan of these teams. I kind of just picked them.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain it.
There's no background of there's no
there's no reason for me to actually like them other than me being 8 years old and choosing them because of the color.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Philly, I live in the state, so it's it just makes sense.
Also, with Philly, let's go to baseball.
Yeah.
Let's go to baseball.
Yeah.
I love baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball is really, I will tell you this, baseball is probably my favorite sport.
Yeah, same.
Mainly because I grew up playing baseball. I coached high school baseball.
What position
I played first base. I was left-handed. I also pitched when I was younger. I was left-handed. So, I enjoyed it. I mean, baseball. I eat, slept, breathed baseball all the time.
Now, this is I've been meaning to ask people this. Who's your favorite baseball player of all time?
For me?
Who's your GOAT of baseball?
For me?
Yes.
Oh, well, for me, it's easy. For me, it's Cal Ripken.
See, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because before the pod, we were like, what's
your
favorite player?
Yeah.
I said Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken. Yeah. I mean, I grew up, that was my era. I grew up watching him from, when he started.
He thought you were too young for Cal Ripken.
No, that was my era, for sure.
You did. You're like, does he remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
But here,
Yeah, didn't he retire kind of recently? Like, not very recently, but kind of recently.
That guy played till he was 60?
No. It was. I mean, early 2000s.
Yeah, that's like
Early 2000s.
Yeah, not like I'm not trying to say like I didn't mean like in the 90s.
Well, remember, he started his career in like 81.
Yeah.
Or 82, and but I remember distinctly. So, I'm dating myself a little bit, but I was alive and watched the World Series versus the Phillies in '83 when Baltimore beat Philly in the World Series in '83, and Cal was on the team. He was a young guy. He and Eddie Murray were the big names, right, on the team.
Yep.
Rick Dempsey, down the line. Jim Palmer was still pitching and all that. But I grew up literally watching the Orioles every week as a child.
Yeah.
Wanted to emulate the players like anybody else. Pretended in the backyard that I was Cal or Eddie and did that stuff like anybody else. So every year my church would take us on a bus trip to Memorial Stadium around my birthday, around the birthday time in the summer. So we got to see. It was a big deal for me. I was a younger kid. I didn't live close to Baltimore in Maryland. I lived on the Eastern Shore. So it was a 2.5-hour trip to go watch the Orioles play. And that was a big deal for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid. So ever since I could walk, talk, play baseball, I've loved the Orioles.
Yeah.
Now, also understand that I've suffered as an Orioles fan for a long time,
Yes.
too.
Did they lose like 27 straight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was there was one season where they started out, I want to say it was like 0-36 or something. It was something really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I remember those years just never really finding their footing.
But now no more suffering.
No more suffering, we think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't won anything yet,
Yeah.
but we did make the playoffs this past year.
And a 100-win season is a
100-win
amazing
season
sign.
is a huge
Jackson
thing.
Holiday.
And all these guys are young.
Yeah.
All these guys
New
that are
ownership,
playing are
too.
young.
Like, because last ownership, I feel like they were a little scared to pay these guys.
Well,
So,
I think they're still kind of scared to pay them.
Well,
They need to step up and sign Gunner and Adley and these guys to long-term deals. I
Yeah.
mean, let's face it. The only way that they're going to continue that dominance is you've got to sign these
Also,
real
like-
up and young stars.
Also, like trade for Corbin Burns too.
Yeah.
Like, that shows me like they're not gonna sit back this year.
Yeah.
And
No, I
it's-
think for sure.
And they want a guy that can win a Cy Young on their team. Have a guy that don't put all the load on a guy like Grayson Rodriguez to have a breakout year.
Yep.
The only problem with that is I don't know if you followed, but Corbin has not had a good spring.
Yeah, I know.
He has gotten
Shelled.
he's gotten shelled.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he's just like kind of
Turns it
toying
on.
with pitches
Yeah.
and trying to, and hope he turns it on by next week because
Yeah.
opening day is
By
next
next week.
Thursday.
It's
Yeah.
also Kyle Bradish,
Right?
too.
Yeah.
Kyle Bradish. he
Well,
might be-
but again, the problem with Bradish is he's been hurt. So trying to get him back in the mix. I'm hoping Dean Kremer steps up because he was a good guy in the rotation last year.
Rodriguez.
Grayson, I mean that guy. I'm
Back
excited
half
about
of the year,
Grayson.
he was-
I'm
Yeah,
excited about
yeah,
Grayson.
No worry about him.
John Means is back in the
Oh,
mix
John Means.
off of Tommy John and Tyler Wells and Cole Irvin. Those guys are guys that could be a 5th, 6th starter
Yeah.
that could step in. I was hoping, honestly, I know I'm swinging for the fences here, no pun intended, but I wanted them to sign Blake Snell or somebody like Jordan Montgomery
I don't
for a
think
year,
that's-
for a year on a year
Yeah.
deal. Like again, we're talking about Baltimore's window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is their window, right? Like these next few years are going to be their window.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they
Yeah.
decide to do something like that.
I don't think that's a long shot personally. I think that's reasonable. It's just Blake Snell had so many offers from teams. It's just he wanted a long-term deal because that's what the big thing was he's up there in age, coming off of Cy Young, but he wanted a long-term deal. So many teams offered him deals. It's just he wanted long-term, so that's the reason why.
And, like, also, would he want? Like, I get Baltimore's a great place on, but would you turn down going to San Fran for a couple years? I feel like just a living style too. Also,
It's just like
Yeah.
because he's going from San Diego to San Fran.
Yeah.
Like no offense, like Baltimore's a great place and all.
it's just not much change from
Well,
where he's going.
I get that, but like
No, that's what I mean. Like it's a
Yeah.
good thing. It's
Yeah.
a good thing
yeah.
for him.
Also, like to live in California.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a little different on
Yeah.
the West Coast versus the East Coast for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and as much as Baltimore has a storied history, it's not the same as a big market team like Boston or New York, or even Atlanta for that matter. So, Baltimore is really a mid-market,
Yep.
small market team, and they really had to do what they had to do. They had to do to construct their
everybody.
team the way they had to gut the entire organization, build up the minor leagues, make it the best farm system, decide to invest in international scouting.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we start reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah.
But, to your point, it's not real high on the attractiveness scale for major league players to go there, like L.A. or San Diego
Yeah.
or San Fran.
Would they pay him the money that other teams would pay him too?
Right.
That's also my thing.
Right.
But with Baltimore, does Felix Bautista starting the year? Is he still?
He is not.
He's still injured.
He's still, they're still working through Tommy John. That guy was a stud, obviously.
Yeah.
But, when you're throwing 100
Yeah, that guy's
plus
a
miles
beast.
an hour, you're bound to have some issues with your arm.
That's kind of my issue, my little word with them too. Is who's going to replace Felix Bautista for the time he's off?
Well, you know who they signed? They signed your boy from the Phillies.
Oh yeah, great signing too.
Greg Kimbrell.
That's
Yeah.
right. They signed Kimbrell. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I don't think they're going to use him as often as Philly did.
You say that.
I'm hoping.
They say that.
Yeah.
I'm
And
hoping that they don't.
Guy starts
Because-
12 straight games.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the only way that they can. That he needs the rest. He's the
Yeah.
guy that's going to need the rest.
But
So you
also,
can't use him. Throw him out there every
Yeah.
day.
Also, he's not. He's only good in the closing spot too. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not good in any spot.
No,
Right.
absolutely not. Like, if you're putting him in the fifth inning, you lost the game.
Yeah.
He's seventh.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Was he in the what inning was he in when he gave the home run to Alex Thomas? Was that in the eighth inning?
I was.
I
Well,
that was
he
in
got-
the eighth inning. That was in the eighth inning, I think.
What game was that?
Game 4.
Game 4.
Game 4-3.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was like seventh or eighth inning, and that's when everyone just kind of.
Yeah. Well, I just think he was overused. I think he was overused last year a lot. I mean, look, he's getting older. He's got a lot of wear and tear on the arm. I was really questioning the signing as well, to be honest, but I also know that they needed a stopgap for now. They have, some other relievers in there that they are hoping to rely on. The most interesting thing about the Orioles, though, we haven't even talked about is the biggest news out of Baltimore by far over all the NFL stuff and the signings for baseball is Baltimore Orioles have new ownership.
Yeah.
That is the biggest news that for a Baltimore fan that's exciting because I will tell you that there is no love lost. We do not care for the Angelos family.
Yeah.
We never really liked the Angelos family. We wanted them to get rid of the Orioles and sell them. It's finally happening.
Didn't they say something too last year about how they're gonna keep all this young core together too?
Yeah.
That also I think rubbed the fans the wrong way. How do you not try to keep this young core together?
Right.
Yeah.
It's these guys are 20, at least 24. Gunner's 21. You
Yeah.
have to keep these guys. All
I think too when they're. If there was maybe just Adley on the team and there was no other young guys, it would be kind of hard to re-sign the guy. But since there's 3 of them, and they're
And
all
you have,
young, I think it's
There's 3 major names, but there's probably
Yeah.
7 or 8 guys that are going to be studs.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
Who's second
the-
baseman?
the rookie, the kid that
Number 11 was he number 11 last year? They got Santander.
I know who you're talking about. They have Santander.
Is
He's
he-
more of the veteran.
Mullins.
is he older?
No,
number
they have Cedric
he's
Mullins.
He came up last year with them.
I can't believe that I'm forgetting it right now. As soon as you say it, I'm like, yes. There's a bunch of young guys that are major league ready.
Yeah.
That kid Kobe Mayo, I'm going to tell you, he's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
He hits bombs. Kyle Stowers hits bombs.
He had 3 home runs. I think.
What is his name though? You're right, and he played last year at second. He really took over second at that time.
Yeah.
It'll come to me as soon as you say it. So Jackson Holiday is obviously the guy that everyone's talking about because that kid is just his makeup is incredible.
And we're already seeing it.
We're already seeing it. I mean, he's already hitting.
I think he's hitting almost 550 this spring.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about major league pitching. We have Austin Hayes in the outfield who makes plays. Mountcastle hits bombs. But
Trying to look for
we're
the guy's
probably
name.
thinking of. Let me see if I can. Jordan Westberg is the guy that played second. Westberg, he's solid defensively. Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much to be excited about
Austin
there.
Hayes,
Yeah, there's so much to be excited
Yeah.
about there.
Ryan O'Hearn. Like,
You just hope that these guys can put up the numbers that they did last year. Like
Yeah.
Ryan O'Hearn was the comeback player of the year, really, like last year. That guy can hit. If he's on, he hits bombs too.
Yeah.
That was the beauty. I think they had, I forget how many players they had that hit 20-plus home runs last year, but it was a number, and
Yeah, 3.
you know, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like going away from Rutschman and Holiday. I think it's Henderson. I feel like
He's I think he might be the best player on the team. Gunnar
Really?
Henderson. I
the way
legitimately.
he played, even his first game, like when he like in Cleveland a couple years ago, hitting a home run.
I love Adley Rutschman. Don't get me wrong. I think he's incredible behind
He's
the plate.
Buster Posey.
He totally. I think he's great behind the plate. Gunnar Henderson, though, that kid
He's got swag.
Yeah.
he can play anywhere in the infield, and he just hits.
Was he coming up as a
Yeah.
shortstop too, and they moved him to third base?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Adley is he's just going to be Adley, but I think Holiday and
Having
Gunnar.
Holiday
Gunnar and I think Holiday are just going to
on the same side of the infield too.
they're just going to destroy it.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be fun.
And I think even if you're not an Orioles fan,
They're such
you're-
an easy team to root for.
if you're
Yeah.
not an Orioles fan, it's just it's dumb for not if you don't think they're not fun to watch. 'Cause
They're fun.
They're going to be fun to
yeah,
watch.
they really are fun. I mean, last year, like the things that they added to the fan section, like I don't know if you saw, like there's the bird bath. They call it the bird bath, but there's a guy that squirts the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
section
yeah,
with
yeah,
water
yeah.
every time there's extra base
Yeah.
hits, and all these young guys are on the same
Yeah.
wavelength about, and they're nice to each other. Like you don't hear anything bad about
Yeah.
them not getting along. They really enjoy playing with one another. I think it's just neat. I mean,
Yeah.
especially because these guys have kind of come up through the ranks together.
Yeah.
Now they're getting to showcase their skills,
And
and
they have a good manager.
and
Also,
I would love
Yeah.
to see like an ALCS of Orioles and Yankees. Like that would be like a
I'd love to see a rematch of the Rangers Baltimore game. I feel like that could be a better.
Yeah,
like,
I
if you're
think-
older.
I think that series was a fluke last year for the Orioles. I don't think they were all.
They're so young. Going
Yeah,
into that,
they just weren't. They
well, they
weren't
didn't
ready.
hit. I
Yeah.
mean, that was the big thing is they just didn't hit the way
Yeah.
that they normally hit, and the pitching started fizzled.
Mm-hmm.
The pitching fizzled, and you got to have 3 solid starters
Mm-hmm.
to go into a playoffs with.
Yeah,
You have to.
yeah,
I think that was
what the Astros kind of always had, like a Verlander,
right.
Frommer,
Frommer, and like the Garrett Cole.
yeah,
So
like
like not
yeah.
at that kind of level, but like
yeah,
you,
Yeah.
you need like 3 like the Phillies too, like Wheeler, Ranger, and Nola.
Nola, yeah. Like it's just pitching's just a huge part. Like
yeah.
you cannot go into the playoffs without pitching and expect to win because it's not going to happen.
I think that's the Phillies' biggest downfall right now. I actually
Yeah.
think that their pitching is weaker than they would like it to be.
Yeah.
I think Zach Wheeler's a stud. Don't get me wrong, but
You're not a fan of
Ranger,
Nola?
you can't count on him all the time. He has good games, bad games, right? And
Yeah,
Nola,
he does.
we've seen what Nola does. He during the regular season, he's throwing meatballs, and yeah, you want him to be the guy that comes in the playoffs and throw well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike the guy.
That's
Playoff Knowles.
that is literally exactly how I feel about Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
well, me and Nick have talked about before. Nick is a big Aaron Nola fan.
I
feel
am.
like.
Did you not see the last?
I was not. I didn't think they should have re-signed him personally. I think they should have let him go and then go for like a Blake Snell or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I think they just are too invested in him, and he's not he's reliable, but just in the playoffs,
he was great in the playoffs.
he didn't he have like 2 bad games?
He had 2.
Yeah,
Not every pitcher's gonna have a bad game in the playoffs.
2
It's
bad
not-
games in the span of how many games?
I get that, but also
So,
you talk
like-
about they did not hit at all. The Phillies could not hit a beach ball against Arizona in the final 5 games. And there's also that too. Like
Well,
you put so much
Philly,
pressure.
Philly is a hot, cold team. I mean, they when they're hot, they're hot.
Yeah.
Like
Unstoppable.
they're exciting to watch when they're hot.
Like
Like
the first 6 games of the playoffs, 7 games.
oh my
Unstoppable.
gosh, they're unstoppable. You thought, okay,
World Series champs.
they're gonna just cruise.
Yeah.
And then they
Went to Arizona.
went to Arizona and like ran into a buzzsaw. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, it was like,
Also, that stadium was dead quiet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one went there.
yeah.
It-
I thought after the Atlanta series for sure that they were gonna be fine.
And then they went up 2-0 too.
yeah.
But like Nola had 2 bad games, but also like when you don't hit at all, it's like telling like an NHL starting goaltender to stop every puck when your team can't score a single goal.
Mhm.
Like you put so much pressure on a guy. He's bound to make a mistake because how much he has to do. So he can't make one single wrong pitch. Because what the Phillies score?
You got to learn how to deal with pressure in the playoffs,
You
though.
do have to deal
Yeah.
with pressure.
So it's
That's
not.
right.
But also, your hitters have to come up when the moment did. How many moments did the Phillies have? Just against Arizona, in like Game 6 and Game 7, they had a chance to take the lead.
But that was like every game for the Phillies. I just think
I
with,
know that.
again, Aaron Nola, not like I like him. He's a good pitcher. It's just I think the Phillies are too invested in him. I think that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the organization is trying to do right by their guys that have been there.
Yeah.
I understand that, but
They have
and they
you
know
have
what
to
they
learn to let
have.
go.
They know what they have in Nola, but I would agree. I think because they have so much money tied up into Bryce Harper's contract and the other contracts that it's tough for them to go out and get that marquee, expensive starter, especially if Boris represents them, because he's going to get his money.
Yeah.
So I think it's tough for him. But I agree with you. I think I would have liked to have seen Philly sign a frontline starter. In addition to. It would be nice for them to get a Jordan Montgomery,
Yeah.
throw him out there. Like they're going to get solid
Are they going
work
with
out of
Mick
him.
Abel? Is that what they're doing? I see Mick Abel a lot. Like,
I don't even know. I just
I think
think
they're going with the young guys. Because
Like-
at some point you have to.
even if they were going to sign Nola, I would like a short year kind of deal. Maybe
Like 7 years. That's just kind of short to me.
no. Maybe I was thinking maybe 2-3 years. Like see if there's something. If
How old is Nola? 30?
I was gonna say 29, but I don't know.
That's the thing I'm thinking. Why would he want to take a short contract and then not be able to get paid again? Say he doesn't perform well, he won't get paid. He won't get another big contract. Why not take the contract? You got 7 years. I think 179. Like you have to take that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like if he doesn't want to take a short year deal, so be it. Then he's gone off the team, and I'm fine with
yeah.
that.
Also, probably someone why would have overpaid because it is free agency.
Yeah.
In free agency, I don't get the one problem I have. I think you've heard this. You said this, Justin, with free agency.
You have to overpay.
You have to overpay.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as you might get an underpay or two, but there's no such thing as a perfect contract in free agency.
Yeah.
You have to let it play out. That's why the Bryce Harper contract. People might have thought it was overpay.
Yeah.
Coming off 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought Bryce could take his game to another level?
Yeah.
In Philly.
Yeah.
Trey Turner, people
Yeah.
I don't think it's overpay because the part what he's done, like Kyle Schwarber, his you have to overpay for
Yeah.
this. It's the game.
Yeah.
If you don't pay,
Yeah. Then you're not gonna get anything.
less
But
the Tampa Bay Rays.
yeah, I think we have to wrap it up. But
Yeah. What a pod.
thank you for coming on, Doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
been fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I always, obviously, I wanted to,
Yeah.
to be able to come on.
We finally got you on here. But
I don't know. This might be better than Dr. Patika's.
Dr. Vatika.
You know what he said?
No,
You're
Mr.
giving him a
Vatika.
doctorate
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
Mister.
Mr. Vatika.
I'm terrible with names.
All right, this is Hot Takes with Nick and Justin. We'll be back next time.
Yeah.